need a high-end designer or a lot of money to get a luxe look. Be your own interior designer.
This is Affordable Interior Design, the podcast.
Here's your host, Betsy Helmuth.
The first one comes from Kara, and she's writing from Mid-Coast, Maine. All right, Kara writes, "Hi, Betsy. I've worked through my feelings about you taking advantage of the housing bubble and accepting that highest offer." Mostly kidding. Because let me say that being a first-time home buyer this year was not fun. We had to spend so much money and had few choices and no rental options. We also had to move because we were completing military service. We ended up finding a house, and many things about it are great, but it does need some work. My question for you is, before the interior design part, we don't know what the functions of the rooms are. In particular, we don't know where to put our living room or our home gym. I've been listening to your podcast aggressively, but I don't think you've covered gyms. Our furniture pieces are secondhand and cast off from others. Nothing we're attached to, so please don't get upset by these pictures. We will buy some nicer things eventually. However, we both love to work out, and that is important to us. We are thinking about putting a gym in one half of the large room with the fireplace, and it has a view out to the backyard. My partner purchased a larger TV, and our idea is to remove part of the mantle to bring down the height and place the TV there. We would have a living room in 2/3 of the room and a gym in 1/3. The TV could slant towards whichever function is currently being used. Is this bad? Will the house hate us for this? It seems to be a bit fancier than we are. I've attached pictures of the larger fireplace room and also the room where we currently have the TV, which is okay, but it's a bit cramped. We would make this my partner's office/den. Apologies for my dog invading every picture. Thanks for your tips and advice and for being so down to earth and personable, Kara. Well, Kara, thanks for writing, thanks for listening, and thanks for sending in these pictures. You are right. I don't talk about home gyms. I do design them a lot, but I guess people just don't write in with questions about them, and I really let your questions drive the content of the episodes. So bear that in mind. I'm looking at these pictures, and guys, if you want to look at these pictures, I would suggest heading over to our YouTube channel. Affordable Interior Design has a YouTube channel, and we post all of the pictures there, as well as you can see my face, right? Because I know as a podcast listener, I have all these imaginings about what the broadcaster looks like, what the host looks like. And whenever I go on YouTube and see what they actually look like, I'm shocked. I'm like, no way, you were not blonde. I totally had you as a redhead in my mind with you build them up or you have this totally different vision. The biggest one for me has been Phoebe from Criminal. Oh my gosh. She has this really compelling voice, so amazing. And then I watched a recording of her, I don't know, on their social media or something, and it was just so dissonant. I could not put the face to the voice, and I still can't. Isn't that funny? Okay, anyway, it's a very good podcast, by the way. Okay, let's dig into your question. So basically, you're wanting to move your home gym into the living room. And that is not something I would advise. Now, I'm going to tell you why, but this is your dream house. This is your forever home. And the most important thing with a home gym is that it get used. So if the only way for it to get used is for you to put it in the living room, by all means. But if this is your living room where you would bring guests, where you would entertain, where you would watch TV at night, would I want it in my living room? Absolutely not. Now, the reason is not because I wouldn't want to walk on the treadmill while I watch TV. It's because all that equipment looks bad. It's black, it's silver, it's heavy looking. It doesn't set a great stage for just everyday living. Now, when and if I have my own furniture line, maybe I'll make some beautiful treadmills or beautiful ellipticals or whatever that are more aesthetically pleasing and come in colors that are less bold and conspicuous and right? Like, wouldn't it be fun to have a taupe treadmill or like a navy exercise bike or just something a little more subtle and sophisticated than black or silver? And don't get me started on the look of the Pelotons. I cannot. Like, could we please get a beautiful light gray Peloton that's got like a grayish, something like that. Anyway, they just don't look good right now. And so I would not put them in the living room. In fact, what I would be thinking about is, could they be in that office space? Would they fit in the office space? Or, I don't see the entire floor plan. I'm just seeing pictures of these rooms. Is it possible that potentially this gym equipment, if it goes in the husband's office space, then you could put his office space in here and it could be somewhat concealed behind the couch? I just think that it's bringing down the vibe. And I also think that based on the current layout, the TV would be perpendicular to the gym equipment, meaning when you do pull out this massive TV, it's going to need to be quite angled. It's going to need to be at least like a 90-degree angle off the wall above the fireplace for you to see it. And then you're going to see that huge mechanism in the back. It's going to be a lot to pull over. Now, you guys love to work out, so it's not going to be hard for you physically, but it's going to look really bad. I'm not a fan. The big black mat, ugh, ugh. Unless you're going for like super industrial chic, it's not the vibe I would want in my living room. So I mean, that's a quick answer. I wish I could spread it out a little bit more, but it's a big no for me. It's a big no for me. And I want to encourage you to work out. It's a big no for me. A big thank you to Aton and the Embassy, who wrote our theme song. A shout out to Catherine Heller, who owns the podcast shop and is our editor extraordinaire. We also want to thank Ginny Sunasan and her team at the Savvy Podcast Agency for their help with our social, our YouTube channel, and so much more. We also want to thank Uploft, which is our parent company who supports this podcast. And lastly, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all your support.